TSM에서 가장 잘한다고 생각하는 선수 타이러스 선수. 타이러스 선수가 선수 생활을 오래 하셨는데 그 TSM 경기를 리플레이해가지고 봤거든요. 오래된 선수답지 않게 좀 엄청 뛰어나다고 생각합니다.
Welcome back to the 2014 League of Legends World Championship, as I am joined here by Home, who is the coach for Samsung White. 2-0 up already. What have been your impressions of your team's performance so far?
지금 삼성 화이트 팀이 2대 0으로 이제 이기고 있는데요. 화이트 팀의 경기력에 대해서 한번 평가해 주세요.
일단 모든 북미 팀이 같은 건 아니지만 선호하는 운영 방식이 있기 때문에 거기에 맞춰서 TSM이 좋아하는 이제 뱀픽과 그 운영 방식에 맞춰서 완벽하게 전 준비했다고 생각하기 때문에 3경기도 걱정 없을 것 같습니다.
So we've been analyzing NA teams' playstyle, their picks, and even though they're not completely the same, we studied TSM's playstyle a lot. And because we prepared so well, I think the remaining third game, I don't have to worry so much about it.
All right, now you were with the team last year as a player, this year as a coach. What is their biggest change in their approach to the game, you would say, this year?
작년 롤드컵 때는 이제 선수로 출전하셨다가 올해는 이제 코치로 나오셨는데요. 작년과 비해서 올해 가장 달라진 점이 무엇이 있을까요?
아무래도 제가 선수일 때는 피지컬이 그렇게 좋은 선수는 아니기 때문에 해줄 수 있는 게 그렇게 많이 없었던 것 같지만 이번에 코치로 올 수 있게 되어서 그때 못했던 것들을 말로 더 해줄 수 있기 때문에 이번 롤드컵 더 자신 있을 것 같습니다.
When I was a player, I couldn't really contribute to the team, but then now as a coach, I'm giving them a lot of advice and how about strategies and picks and bans. So I think I'm being a lot more help to the team at this point.
Right, and finally, well, their team has been putting down a near perfect performance so far. If there's one thing you would like to see them do better, what would that be?
지금 삼성 화이트 팀이 이미 너무 잘해주고 있지만 딱 한 가지 더 바라는 게 있다면 무엇이 있을까요?
지금 기세가 좋다고 너무 자기가 최고라는 그런 걸 가시나하지 않고 그냥 이번 롤드컵 끝나기 전까지는 여기 오기 전 그 마음 절실함 잊지 않고 싸우지 않고 열심히 하는 팀이 되었으면 좋겠습니다.
I hope my players don't get too excited about their performance, and until the World Championship is over, I hope they don't put their guards down and keep playing their best.
Well, they're doing fantastically so far. Thank you very much, and good luck in the next
Thank you.
matchup. And let's get right into that. Over to the desk.
Thank you very much, Sharks. We're on to game 3 of Samsung White versus Team Solo Mid. Samsung White have taken that incredibly strong 2-0 lead. They are currently 8-0 at the World Championship this year, and they are one Smash Nexus away from advancing to the semi-finals. It's hard to say what Samsung White could do better. There's very little that comes to mind. Monty, I immediately just want to talk about Looper. Pulled up the Singed again. The casters talked about his first professional game as Worlds last year, and he's back this year delivering.
Let's talk about that, Singe. That was, I feel that Samsung White is styling a bit in picks and bans right now, just a little bit.
We call it a looper reel.
Yeah, the looper reel. He did great on Singe, but I mean, White picked a composition with 0 wave clear last game and still got away with it like a bandit. So, little bit suspect. Looper's play has been great, but I would say his champion picks have not been altogether optimal.
And Freak on the other side for Team Solo Mid, they seem to be scrambling. Amazing in particular has taken a lot of knocks this series.
Yeah, he's not getting Lee Sin as his best champion by a lot. What I did like to see was the fact that Wild Turtle and Co. could win the bottom lane. When the Twitch came out, they could beat the weakest AD carry champion in lane, and they could do that. To me, you've got to find a comp that sieges 20 minutes in and try to close the game. The longer the game goes, the more chance Samsung White's million little outplays matter.
In Amazing's defense, so if you're outmatched as a team and individually in each lane, then the guy that's going to suffer the most from that is the jungler, because everybody will just flow over into that jungle and shut you down completely.
I mean, you have to feel for Amazing, because he's going to get a lot of flack after this, and really, like, Mata's in his jungle constantly, Dandy's in his jungle constantly, and Pawn is ready to react like this. Looper's even teleporting into his jungle, so what can Amazing do? He can't even farm his camps.
Well, two lane top, that's the answer.
Well, we will find out as we hand it back over to Riv, Jat, and Deficio at the caster desk to get us back into the action.
Thank you once again, gentlemen, and we are almost ready to jump into Champion Select here. Going off a bit of what Holmes said there, they prepped so much for these teams, and it's almost like they prepped so far into TSM's mind that they don't even have to worry about these invades. They're not even in a dangerous position when they get into TSM's jungle in this early game.
No, and that's really the scary part. Whenever TSM tries to do anything, Samsung White, they're ready. I mean, they know what's about to happen. They're always one step ahead every single time.
And the biggest thing that White has to do is just keep their heads. They completely dominated games 1 and 2 with very crisp and decisive early games. If the early game doesn't go exactly as planned, they need to make sure they still have that serious zone to go into if the game actually does get close. Because these first two, they've had such control after the first 5 to 10 minutes that they've been able to loosen up a bit.
And I just love the fact they keep banning this Orianna, because Zed has not worked. Zed has not been working for Bjergsen because he's not alone in one-on-one. Like, there's a lot of members involved in this, and it's a playmaking champion where you have to get a lead to be useful in the game. Orianna's a lot more safe. That's why they keep banning him.
And we actually were mentioning how in Game 1, we really didn't feel, or even Game 2, we didn't feel like TSM got outpicked. So there was actually no need for TSM to change up their ban. However, White is making it a point to play a different strategy in every single game. So even though Rise was available for their first pick, to just go with the same thing, they pass on it to probably put Amazing on Jarvan again because they found that to be such an advantageous matchup, or just because they want to deal with Dyrus' Rise.
Well, I mean, it could definitely be because they want to see Amazing on Jarvan again. Jarvan is a champion. Once he goes in, he's not going out. Which means if he's engaging on you in a bad situation, you will kill him 10 out of 10 times. Jarvan is so hard to play perfectly on professional level. I wonder if TSM is gonna, I was gonna say, pull out the Nunu pick and try and do some like early Dragon, get an early Baron maybe, 2-man the Baron with the Nunu. Try something new, surprise Samsung White a little bit.
They have to. We said in the beginning, they need to go for broke. There's nothing to lose here. They have to put it all on the table here. Game 3, Samsung White is up 2-0, and Luber hovers his main, that Mundo. We have not seen it yet, and definitely cause a big impact here in Game 3.
I mean, you could say TSM wants to try something new, but they're just not willing to try something new, because it's got to be at least a little bit controlled. But seriously, the Morgana pick, I'm actually very surprised by. It was not a regional pick for them, and I wonder if they're styling a little bit, blind picking a Kassadin. It's almost like they're trying to bait Zed out of Bjergsen, so he can't help other people.
Or a Talon pick maybe from Bjergsen here. I mean, he has 2 great options now against this Kassadin in lane. Talon can really shut down Kassadin because you can silence him as well, so he can never even jump away and you can just burst him down so hard. And we've seen this matchup before a few times. It's always in favor of the Talon. Unless, of course, there's 5 members from the other team.
I mean, Pawn would know. He soloed Faker's Kassadin in the mid lane very recently in relative terms if this Talon matchup ends up happening.
And Samsung White, again, the comps they keep building are very late game focused. Oh, we get a Yasuo for Bjergsen here. But the comps from Samsung White, again, is extremely late game focused.
This one in particular is excessively so.
But because they always win the early game anyway, they kind of hit this late game point instantly, and it doesn't even matter. Team Solo mid, again, should be stronger in this early to mid game.
And stronger mentally as well. The crowd is behind them now. We heard Dandy saying it's going to be pressure, that there's probably going to be more TSM fans in the crowd, and they are behind TSM here for Game 3. It's a grim one. These have been sub-30-minute games. TSM has to turn things around here.
Yeah, and this comp they're against, they can definitely beat. Kassadin, Mundo, we never see them pick together, especially because you want to have Dr. Mundo against double AP comps. And then when you blind pick a Kassadin, you kind of open up for a physical damage dealer from the other mid laner.
Seriously, it happened in Game 2. Where's the wave clear here from Samsung White? Are they going to be so much inside the jungle of TSM that they don't even consider wave clear or wave pushing from TSM a threat?
That Dana, once you get shift, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. Everybody's kind of following suit with Dandy getting in the jungle in the face of Amazing. We saw, as you were saying, Imp, we're about 15 CS behind. Let's take the bottom lane and roam and create so much pressure that they can't do anything. Could it happen again? Can TSM bring this one to the late game where they can really flourish? Don't forget to weigh in on the series over on Twitter. Send us hashtag SSWin or hashtag TSMWin to us at LOL Esports, and we'll be tallying your votes shortly. Game 3 to go underway here in the best of 5. Is TSM's mental and physical prowess still up to the test?
Well, if the first two games were any indicator, it definitely seems like TSM was not really